Hello, I'm going to describe this tape deck, which is a Grundig CF5500, and this is the second revision of this deck. This was a top-of-the-line deck from Grundig. It features 3 heads, 2 motors plus 1 solenoid. It says it has quartz control. I guess it's on the main motor, on the capstan motor. And this deck is quite slim and has a particular layout which only Grundig seem to follow. And it has nice features. There are 2 inputs for the microphone, and with this knob you can regulate the 2 channels from the microphone. There's an output knob to set the output volume. This is a bit difficult to turn, and it's supposed to stay untouched and just change in case you change to another amplifier or you put the deck in another situations. There are 2 regulators for the input volume. This is the master record, which is the same for both channels, and there are 2 that make up for the other regulation of the recording level. This deck has metal capability. It was probably the first revision of this deck didn't feature metal, but this one seems to have all 4 tape formulations. There's a front selector to the MPX filter. There's Dolby. You can press or release to set the equalization for the playback to play tapes normal with normal formulation or with other formulations, chrome, metal and ferrochrome. There's a button to do the post fader, and there are other buttons that I now don't know what they are for, and there's one of these should be to select tape or input, but I can't get the sound. Right now there is a music source playing, and the deck is connected, but we can't listen to anything. Okay, this deck has manual recording calibration. With these buttons, as you record, you press them to generate a 10 kHz tone or a 400 Hz tone, so you can set for both channels the bias level and the level, the recording level. These are also knobs that you are supposed to touch from time to time, and they should be maybe marked as a bias control, but it says just 10 kHz tone. Well, there is a LED counter which is malfunctioning in this deck. You press here to reset them, and you press the memo button to memorize 1 point. Okay, and these are the main controls. This deck is faulty. The motor is faulty. I can fast forward, rewind perfectly, but as I play the tape, the motor stops in play mode randomly. See you can fast forward. Now we didn't even start. It has stopped again. I'm going to try to record, but it won't do the trick. Okay, that's all I can record because the motor is faulty. The motor You can see it here. I'm going to press play. Sorry. It was the motor what stopped. It was nothing else. No, there isn't any failure in the rest of the mechanism. Although these mechanisms are known to fail when one of the gears that's made from rubber breaks over the time, the rubber gets worn, and I managed to replace that gear with another one made by myself, but it's not proper. It is very noisy and it wobbles as it moves. Maybe you can see. And you can listen. Okay, the inside of the deck is quite complex. There are plenty of boards and circuits, and well, the smell is really strong in this deck. Maybe the lacquer and some components have been worn and degrading, and it smells like old electronics. It has plenty of components, as I said. There is an isolation here. This is the audio part, this one. This is also an audio part. And this is the power supply. This deck has few axial capacitors, which are known to, these Fraco capacitors are known to fail over the time, but this one doesn't have many of them. Maybe that's one. There are some over here, and I don't find another electrolytic axial capacitors. We'll have a look at the head, because it's a 3-head deck, and this type of head, reminds me of another cassette decks, but these are the ones that are not seen in most 3-head decks. You can easily remove this part. Okay, that's it. This deck will be scrapped or sold as a donor parts. Goodbye.